Welcome to segment 3 of the first element, the mindset advantage. You're doing a great job. I'm really curious to know what underlying belief systems are percolating, what kind of breakthroughs you're having, what wins are going on for you, and I really hope you're taking the time to share with me and the community. And for this week, I am so excited to talk to you about talking. And what we're talking about is what's going on in your self-talk inside your mind and what's going on in your conversations with others. We've talked already about how thoughts become feelings and emotions, become words, become decisions, become actions, become your life. And this is starting with the thoughts and starting with the talking. So, holding yourself really accountable to what you're saying. You might already be doing this, and I want to tell you one thing. This is going to start to be maybe painful is a little bit dramatic, but when you start holding yourself accountable, you start to be hyper vigilant in other people's stories, hyper aware of other people's stories. You're like, I'm not saying my old bullshit anymore, but Mary Sue sure is, and she keeps saying the same thing about how she's so bad with money, or whatever the story is. You may have already been doing that before this video, but I'm telling you that you're going to become more and more and more aware, and that's a good thing, because that's you holding yourself to a higher level. Through this process, you might also start to notice some shifting in your relationships. There are some relationships, like family, that you might not really be able to shift too far out of, right? So you have some grace, you have that awareness, you have that compassion. For other relationships, whether it's friends or coworkers, you might start having different boundaries that help support you in this up-leveling that you have going on. In your relationships, and being hyper-aware of this limiting belief jargon that continues on and on and on, you'll start to notice maybe some annoyances with your loved ones, friends, family. With family, have that compassion, that grace, that awareness of what you're going through and you're changing as you're leading as an example. They might also feel inspired. And with other people in your life that there can be distance, there can be space, you may just start creating space for other like-minded people to start coming in. Either way, it's okay, and just know that this is your internal process and things are shifting around you perfectly as they need to. Your thoughts start to create your feelings and emotions. Your emotions tend to be experienced in your body, and your feelings are quite influenced by your experiences, by your behaviors, by your relationships. So taking that inventory and looking back at what's been in your life, how you experience feelings and emotions, and getting an understanding. Feelings and emotions are very interesting because there could be an experience where you're disconnected from them or been some major suppression of them. It was years ago now, but I remember at one point I didn't even know what anger was. And the first time I felt anger, I was so happy because I was having a different feeling experience than I had ever had before. The emotion had been there and it had been shown in the body in different ways, but the feeling allowed it to be expressed, and the awareness of the feeling allowed me to be accountable to what's happening. With this explanation, I'm sharing with you a tool that can be really powerful. It's feeling work. And when you have emotions and feelings that show themselves and you're not really feeling empowered by them, having the awareness of the feeling and where that's coming from can be extremely powerful. It's literally feeling the feelings. So for example, in the example of feeling anger, it's just me being aware, oh, I'm feeling anger. I'm noticing where those sensations are in my body. I'm disassociating the feeling and emotion from the story, from the why I'm feeling angry, and I'm just allowing myself to fully process it. It can be uncomfortable. You can literally feel your throat closing up or tightness of your chest. There may be many different manifestations of these feelings and emotions. Know that you're supported, know that you can process them, and start to be aware. If there are certain feelings that you've literally suppressed so far deep down and never even known that you've done that, this can be an uncomfortable process because it can almost like be an overspewing of emotions. And that's okay. It's not going to be like that forever. Go easy on yourself. If that's starting to happen, be able to have honest conversation with your loved ones or those that are around you and just saying, I'm processing a lot right now. I'm moving through things I've never moved through before, and allow yourself to have that experience. And know more than anything that you are safe. The disempowering habits, patterns, feelings, emotions that had no longer served you, it's like this releasing and allowing yourself to pick a more optimized, empowering experience for yourself. What's also exciting about feelings is when you start to become aware and noticing the habitual part of them, you can also start to choose something different, choosing a more empowering feeling. This goes back to the intention setting. This is what I'm encouraging you to do all the way from the beginning. And I want to encourage you to consider how there is an emotional home that has become really comfortable to you over time. When I first understood this, I thought, oh my gosh, how often do I say, I'm so overwhelmed right now. I'm just so overwhelmed. That became first nature. And I lived in overwhelm because that had become my emotional home. It doesn't really matter why it became my emotional home, but it did. And that emotional home was at a certain point in time survival for me. But when you can check in and ask yourself, what's my predominant emotion? Is that the emotional home I want to be living in? And if it is no longer where you'd like to live and move to the new place, what an experience of freedom that's available to you. So first checking in around what is that emotional home? Once you have that understood, ask yourself, where do you want to live? It can be a gradual move. Maybe it's a dual residence for a while. Maybe you just cut bait and you're totally moved in and you're feeling great. It's okay. Whatever one works for you, works for you. Underneath a lot of your thoughts are, guess what? Questions. If you think about your thought and what's behind the thought, you might find a question. So, being aware of what questions you're asking yourself can start to help you shift your thoughts. For example, if you're always asking yourself, why aren't I good enough? And then looking for ways to see, oh, see, there, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. You're providing yourself the answers to maybe not the best question. So a question like, how can I thrive today? How can I thrive today? How can I thrive today? Or how can I show up super authentic in all my interactions? These questions are going to start having you show answers, evidence through different thoughts and experiences. Look at what questions you're asking yourself and look at how you're trying to get the answers. This happens on a super subtle subconscious level, but pay attention to answers and what's behind the answer is the question. And you'll notice a lot of different things going on that you might not have been aware of. Thoughts turning to feelings and emotions, turning into actions, turning into your experience. Beliefs, thoughts, feelings, emotions, decisions, actions, results, decisions. We've talked about thoughts, we've talked about beliefs, we've talked about feelings and emotions. Let's talk about decisions. We've talked about also every single present moment. And in every moment, often decisions are being made. I'm making a decision right now to be here with you. You're making a decision right now to be here with me. Later you might make a decision to eat something. You might make a decision how you're spending your time with someone. All these decisions are making your life. All of your thoughts, all of your beliefs, all of your feelings are coming together to make your decisions. Never underestimate the power of a decision. The simplest decision can have ripple effects that as you see play out in your life, you would have never imagined. These are how some of the greatest love stories and success stories, not even some, I would say all, are written, right? They start with a belief system, a belief that something is possible, that turns into a thought, that turns into a feeling or emotion, and turns into a decision. Never underestimate the power of your decisions. We live in a world where it's often easy to focus on the doing. There's another part to that. It's the being. And with that being, it's the mindset. 80% of your life is being experienced through your mind. The other 20% is the doing part. It's what you have to actually do. It's the preparation. It's the skills. 80 and 20. Often we're hyper-focused on the doing, and not even giving much thought to the being, to the mindset. If there's one takeaway, it's shifting your focus from the doing and the busyness to the being and the mindset. This powerful shift this 80% of your outcome coming from that shift is going to be really powerful on your life. So shifting from the doing, moving to the being and the mindset, let's see the wins. I've hammered home enough about feelings, about thoughts, about beliefs, and now I want to talk to you about words again, what you're speaking, what you're saying, and what you're putting into truth through this. We hear a lot, especially in wellness, about self-talk. Self-talk is really powerful. Whether empowering and negative or empowering and positive, this can really shape your life. What you're saying inside your head and what you're speaking into truth. Some people have a lot of success with affirmations. They have their little go-tos. They have their like, you rock, let's do it. This can be really powerful. And if you vibe with this, I'm telling you, do it. No matter what though, start guarding your language. Start guarding what you're speaking. If it's judgmental, if it's critical, if it's putting yourself down to others, if it's putting yourself down to others to relate to others, start noticing the way that you're using your language. All talk is self-talk. Watch your language, and don't forget to talk to you. This is something that I do very regularly, and especially when I'm feeling disconnected from myself. I look deep into my eyes and I say, I love you, I'm sorry, and thank you. And it's a way that I honor myself. It's a way that I can release anything that I need to release. It's that deep, deep, deep self-love that I really mean. And when I do this, I look at my eyes and I'm like, whoa, those eyes are so cool. It is that gateway, they said the eyes are the gateway to the soul. It's your own personal soul check. So guarding how you talk to others, guarding how you talk about yourself to others, guarding how you talk about others, and also talking to yourself in that uplifting, connected way. What's truth got to do with any of this? Being true to yourself and true to others can be easily overlooked. You might know as soon as I say the word truth, something could come to mind of a way that you might not being the most truthful to yourself or to someone in your life. If you're having that immediate response, write it down and take care of business. Maybe it's a tough conversation that you need to have. Maybe it's something you need to admit with yourself. Whatever that is, truth will truly set you free. And when you can start adopting this practice of truth, you start to let your heart and your voice fully open so that you can have more and more connected conversations. And usually 99.9% of the time, this is starting with you not being truthful to yourself and the external world giving you evidence of you not being truthful to yourself. So look within, tap within, have those conversations with whoever you need to, starting with you, and watch what shifts around you. It will be pretty surprising. And an easy trigger statement to help you do this is, the truth is. And when you're having anxious, repetitive, catastrophe-ridden thoughts, check in with yourself. This is a great check-in. The truth is, and the truth is, and you'll immediately be able to finish that sentence and perhaps find inspired action that you can take or a check-in with yourself that you need to have. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a few elephants in the room that I want to talk about. 1 is comparison, 2 is judgment, and 3 is jealousy. Comparison and judgment have a way to, I think they're actually a gateway drug to just a miserable life, right? Because there's always something else. Comparison, there can be healthy comparison, right? There can be healthy reference. Discernment, discernment versus judgment can be really, really healthy. But noticing when it's this critical judgment, when you're having this looping mindset of comparison versus you sitting in yourself, in your truth, using discernment and being fully committed to you. It can happen in business, it can happen in relationship, it can happen in friends group. There are so many ways that comparison and judgment can butt their heads in ways that are so toxic and exhausting. If you're feeling really tired all the time, I would ask you, how much of a role does criticism, critical thinking, judgment, and comparison have a role in your life? Start to use that filter and hold yourself accountable to transitioning this into purely discernment and purely empowering you to take the inspired action that you need to take, checking in with yourself to the life that you want to live. I could give you so many examples of this, but often what's happening is you're being taken away from what's important to you. There's a book right now out called The Latte Factor. It's an amazing book talking about career choices and earning money and how getting caught up in the rat race can take away what's so important to your own life values. That's essentially a huge part of this program, is being connected to what's most important to you, aligning your decision and your times to be reflective of that, and allowing this to all start with the thoughts and the processes in your mind. So we're in a society where there's marketing everywhere, the next best thing, this spirit of sufficiency. Forget sufficiency, it's replaced by a feeling of constant lack. And that's being expressed through feelings of comparison, feelings of judgment. So check in with yourself when you're tapping truly in the spirit of who you are and have your ability to use your discernment in your decisions. This is allowing you to live the life that is aligned with you. Aside from that, I want to talk about jealousy for a moment. Jealousy for me felt like this dirty little secret. Like, who am I? I have all these tools available to me and I can feel jealous, and then I feel like I'm comparing and I feel like I'm not good enough, and all of those things are true. And jealousy can be such an amazing indicator of what you're wanting to experience. The reason you may be feeling jealous is because literally you want to experience whatever that is. And if that is in alignment with who you are, the next step is to take that inspired action. Any person in the world experiencing whatever they're experiencing is available to you to have as your own experience, if you're taking the action and if you have the clarity and alignment that it works for you. So the next time you're feeling jealous, the next time you are getting caught in comparison and even judgment, ask yourself, what's underneath that? What do they have that I don't have? And what's the information available to you that feels aligned, that leads to inspired action? None of this is bad, it's information. So allow that information to flow through and empower you so you don't feel like an asshole, and you can see what's the inspired action that I want to take that I'm not taking. Involved in this, you might start to notice stories. You might start to notice the project that you'd love to start, but you have every excuse why you're not taking it. And the piece that's missing is that action. So everything in this world, literally everything, is available to you. But remember, your beliefs, to your thoughts, to your feelings and emotions, to what you're speaking, to the decisions, to the actions, to the life you're living.